What up, YouTube? Rich the Return Rider coming to you here from High Springs, Florida. Coming from my daughter's house here, guys. I'm going to have some fence work to do over here. But we are out for some throttle therapy on a 77-degree day here. I know this is February. I think the end of February 20. I'm going to bring you guys along here with us as we start out here with a little bit of a U-turn from a stop. Hey. And a little bit of emergency braking. I like to start my videos with that. For all of you folks that's here for the first time, thanks for tuning in. For all you folks that's return viewers, I appreciate you coming back. For all that subscribe to the channel, guys, appreciate the support. For you folks that haven't yet subscribed, it takes nothing off you to hit that subscribe button so we can continue to bring you some of this content. While you're at it, guys, there, hit the like button. It helps out the channel. Share the videos. As you guys can see from the title there, guys, I know we're going to be covering that primary bolt recall. We have spent a couple of hours today on the bike, and I thought this would be a great time to bring you a video as we are heading home. Been through Gainesville, ran some errands, stopped here in High Springs, and all right, let's start here with another U-turn in the intersection. Plenty of room. Don't have to be 18-foot U-turn, folks. But just getting acclimated to the bike before we head on a 441 heading to Lake City. Anyway, let's talk about it, folks. Let's not make this video too long. But I'm hoping that this video will be informative for some of the folks out there that's considering having that drive gear bolt recall done. When we first got this information, guys, we were all in somewhat of a little bit of a panic there, I will say. You know, the wife always talk about me being a pessimist. So for 2025, we are going to try to be less of a pessimist and be more like her, more of an optimist. And don't worry about the things that we don't have control over. You know, my new saying, guys, is to pull up a chair and have a beer. So let's talk about it, guys. Now, I have had the drive gear bolt done. I want to say a special thanks, guys, to RC Hill Honda. I think the manager that I spoke there, or the guy that took care of me, his name was Brian. Brian is also the owner of a 2020 Generation 6 Honda Goldwing. And from what he told me, his bike was one of the first ones that was done. Yeah, man. Yeah. Now, in doing this recall, guys, we know that Honda pays for this drive gear bolt to be replaced. But if you hang on to the end of the video, we're going to talk about another cost that you're going to incur as we are doing this repair that Honda doesn't pay for. But no big deal. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that process as we get this video going here. Look at this, guys. Beautiful ride on the way back to Lake City, low traffic. And this is actually 404, rush hour time here in this part of the country. Like I was saying there, reached out to RC Hill Honda. The GPS says it's 2 hours and 22 minutes away from me. The dealership that I usually deal with, guys, is actually about an hour and 20 minutes away from me in Ocala. And they have reached out to me on having this recall done. But I have opted to go with RC Hill Honda. But because this dealership deals with so many Goldwings, and we were all concerned about the teardown of the motorcycle while we were having this recall done, we're all looking for someone that is competent and working on this motorcycle. And I gotta tell you, folks, like I was saying, I was always envious of you folks from DFW and Tennessee, Southern Powersports, that have these dealerships that you can actually brag about. The dealerships that you now feel comfortable on having to work on your Goldwing. And RC Hill Honda has been that for me, guys. They reached out to me. They ordered the bolt. They called me to tell me they had some slots available. They had done, I think, 30-something of these motorcycles. And we're going to talk about the process of that as I'm doing this video. It's one of the reasons that I did this video is as we are all concerned about who's working on these motorcycles and tearing stuff apart. And accessories that we are worried about on the motorcycle. I did watch a content creator actually removing accessories from the bike. He didn't want some of his stuff interrupted. He was concerned about whether some of his stuff will be working. You know, a lot of us have accessories on these motorcycles, man, and under that seat is what we consider to be a rat nest. There are wires running everywhere. Now, when I had the fuel pump replaced on my bike, I actually dedicated a day to cleaning up the wires of all the accessories, the lights and so forth that I had on the motorcycle, to make sure that they had easy access to get into that fuel pump. And the rumor when this recall was first introduced was that, man, they're going to have to tear everything down on the motorcycle. They're going to, I even heard something once about them having to remove the engine. Made no sense to me, but, you know, removing the fuel pump. I watched one video where they were tearing all the panels down. And the great thing, the only good thing about that one, guys, is as they were doing that kind of a repair, we had the option at the time to have that filter, that air filter replaced for probably a nominal fee, since they're going to be tearing down all of this stuff. And that is the only positive that we could find in this recall being done. Well, I'm here to inform you now, guys, that that's no longer the case. That service is no longer available, since they now have the option of going in under the motorcycle and having this bolt replaced without tearing the motorcycle apart. So what I'm saying, folks, if you have accessories on your motorcycle, don't worry about moving the accessories. The one thing I didn't get to ask Brian is if they had to remove that undercarriage pan that I have to protect the engine. I do have an undercarriage protection guard, you know, protects the engine from anything hitting it. And I thought about moving that, but Brian assured me that they're not, you know, don't worry about the motorcycle. He also showed me a motorcycle here that they had done. It's a 2019 also, the black motorcycle that you're looking at there. And all of the accessories that was on this motorcycle, guys, whatever you could think about on the motorcycle was on this 2019 Honda Goldwing. The interesting thing about that is the owner of this motorcycle also owns a trike with all of the similar things on it, and that one is the 2018, so that one is subject to the recall also. So yeah, don't start tearing the bike apart. Take it into the dealership, and if you have a dealership that you're dealing with that still talks about disassembling the motorcycle to get to that bolt, you might want to have them call RC Honda and talk to the technicians there. Apparently there's a couple of technicians there that do this repair. I drove the motorcycle down the morning time. I was there at 8:30. The store opens at 9. At 3 o'clock, I received the call. Motorcycle is now done. You know, right? You could come and pick the bike up. Now, I did leave the bike overnight since I'm traveling 2.5 hours. And it's not as big as a deal as we thought it was initially. Now, what he did explain to me as we was talking about that air filter replacement is that for the trike, the procedure is a little different because of the design of a trike. So they still have to do some tear down. Apparently, when they first started doing this procedure, that's what they did. They remove all the panels, they remove all that, and they got down to the meat and the potatoes of that bolt. But now they're able to put the motorcycle up in the air and access the, you know, the stuff from the bottom. So yeah, guys, I thought that was quite informative. So the good thing is it's now an easier process to having it done. You know, RC Hill Honda, guys, when I see the amount of Honda Goldwings that's here, man, SD 1300s, the 2024 leftovers, I want to throw something in there as we're talking about that too. They know that at this point they don't have the 2025, and this is a dealership that usually have some displays and stuff like that during bike week test rides. Apparently the 2025 is going to be revealed at Daytona, the 50th anniversary, and that's where it's recommended. Now, I don't know what days I'll be there. I haven't decided on the days going yet. After looking at my schedule, it's going to be a little tricky on what days I choose to be at Daytona. I will be there. I hope to get out and test ride some of the Indians and so forth. Indian is coming with lots of upgrades to their motorcycles. I'm curious about it. But the other thing that I want to touch on as we're doing this video here, folks, is to do this repair, they have to remove the oil. So you're going to be subject to an oil change when you're having this repair done. and Honda doesn't pay for that oil change.
What you talking about, Willis?
Now, I was given the option of using the full synthetic oil, which they kind of recommended, or using the standard oil. Now, the interesting thing about that, guys, is the oil change intervals are still the same. So I want to ask you guys the question, do you prefer to use the synthetic oil, or do you prefer to use the standard oil? You know, the cost of the synthetic is going to be a little bit more expensive. But what I thought about, guys, is Lorna and I was AMSOIL dealers years ago, back in the 90s. I believe AMSOIL is still a great product. Full synthetic oils is a great product for if you're in cold weather, if you're in extreme hot weather, if you're in, you know, really strenuous riding conditions, maybe doing the cone courses and all of that. So I opt for the synthetic oil. But what's interesting to me is that the oil change intervals doesn't change. So yeah, folks, leave it in the comment section. Now, the cost of the oil, for me, the synthetic oil everything was almost like $100. It was $99 so, because I did buy an extra quart of oil to be able to top the motorcycle oil. The one thing that I want to mention there, folks, is if you go synthetic, you can't go back to conventional. If you can go from conventional to synthetic, but you cannot go from synthetic back to conventional oil. So you might want to be aware of that if you're considering using synthetic oil. Just some food for thought out there, guys. The motorcycle has no longer have to be completely disassembled. The negative is that oil, that air filter is no longer an option at a low cost. I think what Brian explained to me is that it's a 3 or 4 hour job. The filter is $75 or so, and then you're looking at the cost of labor, so you're probably looking at about a $500 filter change. Ruby has got 22,772 miles on her here, so you know she was due at 16,000 for that air filter. I opt to do it around 30,000 miles, whether I'm going to pay to have it done or I'm going to do it myself is still a debate. But yeah, folks, if you are considering, if you're in the region or the vicinity anywhere of RC Hill Honda, and you reach out to these folks, man, I hope to put your fears, to allay your fears by saying my experience there has been great. Ruby's up and running. Couple of hours. I think I was told that Honda offers 6 hours of repair time to have this done. We were all considering or concerned about this tear down. No worries, folks. Reach out to RC Hill Honda in DeLand, Florida. Put the information in and see the proximity of you to that place, and I recommend them. Anyway, folks, some information there that I hope is helpful on the repair on the 2019 Honda Goldwing. You know how I end my videos, guys. Add some protection to your motorcycle. Do the cone courses. Do the advanced safety classes. If nothing else, the experts claim we should practice emergency braking and swerving. It's that one tool you need to have in your toolbox to help keep you safe out there on the streets. Rich out on Ruby Primary Bolt Don. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I am out.